Take it easy, will you?
Come on, you gotta keep moving after workout like that. You're stiffing up.
Kevin, stiffen up. I mean, I got pains in places I didn't even know I had.
You don't get enough exercise, my boy.
I just spent an hour cavorting around like a hyperactive teenager. You tell me the problem is not enough exercise?
Believe me, I know. You'll feel great once you're back in shape.
I like my shape.
Well, I like your shape too, but I think it'd look funny on me. Look, you worked out. Face it, you feel great. Your body's happy.
My body is happy, just sort of settling into middle age. Doesn't need this abuse.
Oh, God, it's raining. Tommy, call 911, get him to bring a car over here.
What's the matter, Kevin?
There's somebody, old friend. Stay with him, stay with him. 'The parking zone, Jake. You know you could read.
I wouldn't!
Now, give me that. Now, turn off the motor. Go on, turn it off.
I wasn't doing anything.
Out of the car. Out. Come on. Come on, up.
Hold it! Stop right there, police!
Slow, aren't you, Jake? Stay right there, nice and still. Take it easy.
Kevin?
I'm all right. Just stay right back there. There's a car on the way. Good. Give me the other arm. Okay.
10 seconds of violence on the street. Not a lot of time, but somehow when you're there, it can seem like an eternity. And in that brief, distorted instant, hard decisions have to be made.
You're the right man at the right time. Thanks again. There's much else I could do.
You get 1 second, maybe 2, to make up your mind. And there's no turning back once the choice is made. For most people, it's easy to let the other guy take his chances. But for some, it's not that simple. They're the ones we call heroes.
Yeah.
Guy you shot out of me.
What about the guard? Damn. I didn't know what was going down till it was too late.
Civilian helping a cop? Kind of hard to believe.
You'd believe it. If he hadn't been there, I'd be history.
When did you realize what was happening?
I don't really remember when they started shooting, I guess.
That all happened pretty fast. What were you thinking when this guy pulled out the gun?
What's this all about?
Well, we don't often get a story like this. I'd like to do a feature on you, Mr. Garfield.
Forget it. Now, look, I don't want my picture in the paper. I don't want my name in the paper. All I want's a little privacy, now. Why don't you just do me a favor and leave me alone?
And look, I'm not trying to do you any favors. I just think it's important that people know what you did here. I want them to understand that you don't have to carry a badge to have some values to get involved.
Write anything you like. Just keep me out of it. You can keep this out of the papers, can't you?
I can try. You're the man, Tom?
Yeah, I heard him.
Jake, I want the name.
Your pal took off with all the money, Peters. You want him out there spending it while you're in here looking at a homicide rap?
I didn't shoot nobody.
Your target blow me away, small change. You forget that?
Let me go. Let me go. I didn't shoot nobody. I ain't saying nothing till I see a lawyer, okay?
There's plenty of time for lawyers after you give us the name.
What's in it for me, huh?
You pull a gun on me and then you try to cut a deal?
What's the point of talking, huh?
So I don't rip your face off. All right, easy, easy. Kevin,
Why don't you let Frankie handle this one?
Guy's nuts. He's crazy, man. I tell you.
Listen, Jake.
Come here.
Come here. Why don't you stop being so stupid, huh? Just talk to me.
I got nothing to say.
hey! You think your pal's gonna send you care packages in prison?
I didn't realize you were working undercover.
Just coming out of the gym. I didn't have time to change. My feet are soaked.
You got Peter's yellow sheet?
Right here, sir. Just comparing him against the other two.
Did you get anything?
Not much. But one of the guys you popped was busted with a certain Nolan Thomas. And Thomas shared the cell for a couple months with Peters.
Well, sounds like something to me.
It would be, except Thomas is still in the slammer.
Wrong, old large one. Thomas was paroled 3 weeks ago. Didn't take him too long to get back into circulation, did it? Well, he's an enterprising kind of guy.
Did you find his parole officer?
Yeah, he was supposed to see the parole officer last night, but he never showed.
I wonder why.
Getting the dress? Yeah, but the parole officer checked it out, and he hasn't been there for a week.
Figures. Kevin, I thought your friend Garfield was coming in here to make a statement.
So did I. I'm gonna slide on by, pay a call on him.
Well, it's one down, and a hell of a lot more to go.
Hey, what's your name?
What the hell do you want?
Well, you said you were gonna come over and give us a statement. Did you forget?
Yeah. This drove it right out of my mind. Now, by tomorrow morning, this is going to be outside everyone's door.
I should have let him shoot you. Don't waste any time, do you? Right into the first edition.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about?
He saved my life, Tommy. Couldn't you do one lousy thing for him?
Oh, the man saved your life. I thought it was a story worth telling. Anyway, what's his problem? It's not like I said he raped somebody.
I don't care what his problem is. You're my friend. I asked you not to do it.
Wait a minute, you're out of line. I don't tell you how to do your job.
Well, if you needed a favor from me, you'd get it.
Well, I wouldn't ask for that kind of favor.
Well, people do. What are you getting so righteous for all of a sudden?
Wait a minute. In the first place, I got a job to do, and it's not something I do favors about. In the second place, why don't you read the damn article? I didn't use his name.
Well, you didn't need to. You got the picture right there.
In the third place, before you go off half-cocked, maybe you ought to know what the hell you're talking about. I didn't run this picture. I'm not the editor of this newspaper. All I do is write the words. And it just so happens that I tried to talk him out of it.
All right. I'm sorry.
The point's still the same. You're still out of line.
Have a nice night, Tom.
Toasted bacon and tomato on white, please. 2 sunny side up. Thanks. I said a chocolate milkshake. Chocolate.
Hey, O'Brien, I hear you're looking for Nolan Thomas. Well, I already know what you're thinking, man. You need to find a guy. Why don't we go hassle Whitey, huh? Let's give old Whitey a shakedown. Maybe ruin his business. He can help us out. Well, I'm ahead of you this time, O'Brien. Here you go, my man. A couple of names of the friends your pal Thomas tends to hang around with. Nice ladies. You might want to give him a call. You might get lucky, huh? And listen, O'Brien, no need to thank me, okay? Because I'm just doing my duty as a public-spirited citizen. Your absence will be my reward.
Hey, wait.
What?
It was nice talking to you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, Jambone. And lighten up on the hairspray, huh?
Why don't you call this into Stevie and Colby? Don't eat it.
How does it turn out here, huh?
Yes,
Don't you think they'd have to put numbers outside these balloons?
Why? The last one didn't even have a door.
You think that's 28?
Hey, your guess is as good as mine.
What do you think? Half a second more, I could have got a shot off.
Well, it's a good thing you did, and I kind of wanted to talk to the guy.
Yeah, we even got the guy.
Crazy. All right, there's still his second girlfriend. When we talked to her, she said he hadn't been around in a while, but right now it is the only chance we got, so take it, go check it out. Maybe we'll get lucky.
All right.
Oh, God.
I'm looking for Detective O'Brien.
You're looking at him.
Edward Picard.
Government. Retired.
Last year.
What can I do for you?
Got an address for this guy?
And what do you want with it?
I want him for murder. Don Elliott back then. He was the head of a group called the Freedom Army. Only 5 people in it, but they were busy. We suspected them of bombings in half a dozen major cities. Then this. Hoist with their own petard.
Hose with what?
Hoist with their own petard. Blown up with their own bomb. Haven't you read Hamlet?
Not lately.
Well, the explosion took care of 3 of them. Dan Elliott and one other guy, they went off into hiding. Oh, it took me almost 3 years to find the other one. When I got him. Now I've found the last of them.
This happened 15 years ago.
The charge is still homicide.
Homicide? No, they didn't bomb anything. It was an accident right in their own building. It was their own people that blew up.
While they were engaged in a felony. That's homicide.
Garfield was in the building during the time of the explosion?
If he was, he'd be dead. But he headed the group.
Well, it feels pretty thin to me.
It's the law, O'Brien. I don't judge him. I just bring him in. I wanted this one for a long time.
What'd he do to you?
My personal feelings don't interfere with my job.
Personal feelings or no personal feelings. It doesn't sound like something that'll stick after all this time. I doubt we could even prosecute it.
There's an outstanding warrant. I'm here to see it's enforced.
If there is a warrant, it will be dealt with.
When do we pick him up?
We don't pick him up.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
It means that it's not your case anymore. That's what it means.
15 years makes it my case.
You're retired. You're entitled to some courtesy. Nothing else. And I think it's very important that you understand that right now.
I know more about him than anybody alive.
We'll handle it.
Well, you better, huh? I mean, he's not going to stick around now. His picture's been in the paper.
Kevin, you want someone else assigned to this case?
Nope.
Look, I'm sorry, you can't do this. You can't just walk in here and ruin our lives.
Look, I'm doing everything I can do to get this straightened out. I should be able to get him released. He'll probably be at home a couple hours.
It all happened so long ago. What difference does it make now?
You still want it. Maybe it's better to face it and get it over with.
He never hurt anybody. He couldn't.
I believe you. Now, try believing me. I'm going to do what I can do to straighten it out.
Can you promise me he won't go to prison?
No, I can't promise that.
Oh, no, what good is your help? Why don't you just get out of here and leave us alone?
Can we have a minute, please?
Yeah, sure.
It'll be all right.
Think we can trust him?
You want to peek in through the window, Frankie? Go right ahead.
There'll be a statement for the press later. You'll all get a chance to hear it.
Okay, grab a chair there.
Elliot? I haven't used that name for quite a few years, Professor Winchester.
I thought you were dead. I hoped you were dead.
I didn't know about the bombings. I swear I didn't. You know I hated violence. You taught me that.
I taught you resistance. You made revolution. I taught you non-violence, and you made bombs.
Maybe we couldn't quite make the distinction.
You are the murderer. You killed her.
I thought I'd seen the last of you. And you.
Picard, is there a reason for this circus?
David Ellis, the last surviving member of the Freedom Army. Professor Albert Winchester, whose daughter Mary was Elliot's girlfriend, till the bomb went off.
You just stood by and let them destroy themselves.
I never taught revolution,
That's
Professor.
enough. You've made your identification, Professor Winchester. Would you like an officer to give you a ride home?
No, thank you. I can take care of myself.
Can we talk to you for a moment?
It was a great idea bringing the old man in here. Let's go take a statement.
Garfield might have denied he was Elliot.
Well, he didn't, and if he had, I'd have done something about it. Picard, why don't you do us all a favor and go hang around where you used to work? Maybe they could use the help, but we don't need it.
Kevin!
Yeah. Now, Picard's old boss called us this morning, and he asked us to cooperate with him in any way we could. I told him we would.
Does that include letting him meddle around with my cases?
I didn't say that.
Well, that's good. Now, what can we do for Garfield?
Well, that depends on the judge. But if we suggest that he be released on his own recognizance, I don't think his lawyer will beef much.
He's supposed to be a prosecutor, sweetheart, so prosecute.
On a 15-year-old case, I think it'll be a little tough to make, don't you?
Well, it's always tough if you're not trying.
Picard, take it easy.
Can I talk to you alone?
Hang in there.
What's the matter with him? Got stuck in his own petard? Thanks very much.
I want to question the man you're holding for the robbery.
What could that possibly have to do with anything? He was 14 years old when that bomb went off.
Elliot, or Garfield as he calls himself now, used to finance the Freedom Army by robbing banks. Those guys were robbing a bank. What was Garfield doing there?
Well, my men will ask him.
But I know these guys. I know the way they think.
Well, we've been at this game quite a while, too.
Lieutenant, you ever think about retiring?
Sometimes. I got a few years left.
It's a little like dying, coming back as a ghost. You stand there and talk, and nobody listens. All I want is 5 minutes. I'm not gonna blow anybody's case.
You got 5 minutes.
Nobody ever gets by me twice, baby. Nobody.
Kevin? Guy's got a whole other story, but he says he only wants to talk to you.
Change of heart, Jake? Pretty sudden.
I saw the error in my ways. My lawyer said if I talk, maybe he can make a deal with the prosecutor. So I gotta tell you the truth. The head honcho was George Garfield. He planned the whole stick-up.
What in the hell is this?
Hey, man, I'm confessing. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
What I want is to know exactly what happened.
I was there. I know what happened. When the thing went sour, Garfield jumped me. He's one smart bastard. He suckered you, O'Brien. He suckered you good.
Where's Picard?
Just went out.
It's okay on Garfield. They've released him.
Great.
That's all. It's on there.
Picard! Picard, wait a minute!
I don't exactly know what you're up to, but I want you to stop it. I don't want you questioning my prisoners. I don't want you bringing me witnesses. I want you to stay the hell away from my case.
O'Brien. Looks to me like you could use all the help you can get.
Not from perjured witnesses.
I got the truth out of him. I know how to talk to these guys, O'Brien. I was doing it before you could wipe your own nose.
Picard, I'm warning you, stay out of it.
They're going away. Going away and nothing you or anybody else can do about it.
Got anything yet?
Still look like Dave. Pretty primitive. Radio activated, though. Here's what's left of the receiver.
That means he had to be around here to set this off.
How could he have missed it then?
These things are pretty unpredictable. Anything at the right frequency can set it off. Squad car, radio, cab, you name it.
Lieutenant, Kevin, you want to take a look at this?
Found it right over here. Looks like a poster.
Does that mean anything to you?
Sure, the Freedom Army, that's their symbol. I guess Mr. Garfield didn't appreciate my coming back.
Somebody didn't appreciate it.
Garfield, give me another possibility. He knows that with me gone, there's no pressure to prosecute. There's no case.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm going to have to send somebody to pick him up.
And this time, no special deals, O'Brien. This time, we put him away.
Are you satisfied now? I told you he wasn't here.
Where is he?
I don't know. He didn't set that bomb. I know he didn't.
How do you know about the bomb?
Someone called George and told him about it. Said he'd be blamed. He was terrified. He said it was just like everything was starting all over again.
When did he get this call?
Just after he got back from the police station. Look, he didn't do anything. He never hurt anybody.
Yes, ma'am. Listen, you know it'd be better for him if he gives himself up voluntarily. Okay, thanks.
Is Kevin O'Brien here?
Oh, no, but he'll be in later.
I'll wait.
Look, he might not be in at all. Can I help you?
Oh, yeah, if he comes in, could you tell him that Jenny Garfield wants to see him?
Sure. Can I get you coffee?
Please.
Oh, did you guys catch anything?
Oh, just Nolan Thomas.
Good. Anybody talk to him yet?
No, not even me. No one.
Great. Have the door, please. All right, Mr. Thomas, out of there. Come on, come on. Out. Easy, man. Concussion. Yeah, right. Come on.
Well, they went through the whole house, looking at all our things, like we're criminals.
It's their job. I'm sure they didn't mean to make you feel like criminals.
Their job was their job to tear my family apart.
I know it might seem unfair.
It is unfair. How can something that happened 15 years ago do this to us now?
Because people were killed. That's not easily forgotten.
You think George can forget it? He has nightmares about those years. Sometimes he wakes up screaming and shaking. He hated those bombings. He never believed in the violence. That's why he wasn't there when they were killed.
Why doesn't he turn himself in? Why doesn't he go down there and explain that to them?
Right, you think they'll take his word for it? Oh, it all happened so long ago, and now they're blaming him for it. It's like all his nightmares are coming true. Mine, too.
What am I, a psychic? How am I supposed to know he was going to disappear? Yes, I hope it's not him, too. My boss is not too thrilled about all this. Half the time, I'm getting hell for violating people's rights. And then the rest of the time, I'm getting it for letting monsters out onto the street.
Great jobs we've got.
Terrific. Is there anything you haven't told me?
Nothing. We got his house under surveillance, but I doubt they'll go anywhere without his wife and kid.
Don't bet on it. He dropped everything last time he ran.
My boss isn't going to wait another 15 on this.
Well, I hope somebody tells O'Brien that.
Listen, O'Brien had nothing to do with it. I make the decisions in this office.
I just didn't happen to think the guy was much of a risk.
That's right, and I still don't think so. A little background on Garfield. Man hasn't had a parking ticket in 10 years. He's in 5 or 6 community service groups and statements from people who think he's a saint.
Oh, come on. If you're in hiding, you got to keep your nose clean, huh?
A little talk with our other bank robber, Nolan Thomas. How come you never heard of Garfield?
I guess he just didn't want to give him away.
Or Jake was lying. And maybe someone told him to. What do you think, Picard?
I think it's your sleaze against mine, O'Brien.
I don't think Jake could have come up with that story. Doesn't have the imagination. I think you gave it to him. What'd you promise him, Picard?
What did I promise him?
What did you give him for his story, huh? You two want to get tough? Why not? There's a lot of slime in the city. Go out and beat on them.
So,
It could be Thomas who's lying. I wouldn't put much confidence in either of them.
I'm betting on Picard. But you want a guy as much as he wants Garfield?
Be careful where you're going with that, Kevin. I know he's hot to make a case. I know he may have offered a witness an incentive. But that man's got a number of years on the job. And I don't want you making any charges against him. Unless you can back him up.
I don't tell witnesses what to say.
It's a tough one to prove, Kevin.
Look, I'm not looking to prove anything. I'm just telling you what happened.
Garfield is our problem, not Picard.
Don't worry, I know what our problem is.
Back in a second.
David Ellis?
Listen, George hasn't been here, okay? If I hear from him, I'll call him.
You know, I really prefer it when they let us ask the questions before they answer them.
Your buddy Picard has already been here asking the questions.
Newsflash, Jack. Picard's retired. We're the ones you talk to. And you keep that in mind when you from Garfield next time. You got it?
Whatever. It doesn't matter anyway. He won't be dropping by.
Why not?
Because he ran out on us 15 years ago, that's why. There's no place for him with me anymore.
Well, maybe. Maybe he hasn't got any other place to go.
Well, that would be tough on him, wouldn't it now? I'm not running a home for stray radicals here. That's all over for me now. I paid my dues. 5 years in the slammer for nothing.
You call blowing up a half dozen buildings in 3 different cities nothing?
It was nothing.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been something, yeah. Could have really turned things around if everything hadn't fallen apart.
You mean if you hadn't got caught? Whoa. Look, you hear from him, you give us a call. Now you may close the door.
That is not what I meant, Tommy, and you know it.
Of course it is. Oh, all right, I'll make it a rule that I don't write about people.
Let's go.
You never know what skeletons there might be in their closets. No, I'll just write about ducks or fish or antelope.
I don't believe it. I was just making a simple statement. A family is being destroyed because a man stood up and did something heroic. Now, are you not understanding me? I'm not being clear here?
A family is being destroyed because the man of the house went out and started blowing up bombs.
That was 15 years ago, and it wasn't even proved, Tom.
Look, every day there's a story about people standing around watching other people get killed. Somebody comes along and risks his life to save a cop. Don't you think I ought to write about that?
I am not disagreeing with you, Tom. I think what you did was right. What you did was wonderful. There just happened to be some unfortunate consequences, that's all. And I think if you weren't feeling just a little bit responsible, you wouldn't be so defensive right now.
Defensive?
Well, what do you call it when you jump down my throat every time I open my mouth?
He's not jumping down your throat. He just said...
That he is not responsible. Well, of course he is. I am not blaming him. I am just stating a fact.
No, but he is not responsible. That is not a fact.
Look, whose side are you on? Weren't you the one that was just telling me how angry you were that he had written all this?
But that's not why.
Why what?
That has nothing to do with it.
Look, something has got something to do with something here, right? Right? I am just feeling a little sympathy for the man. And both of you are...
All right, Nick, look. We all have sympathy for the man.
Then what are we arguing about?
You want to know what we're arguing about? I will tell you what we're arguing about.
Good.
A guy saves my life. He writes a feel-good piece about him. I end up arresting the guy.
No, that's not what we're arguing about. What we're arguing about is very simple. Now, if you
this is a
sit and listen.
Sit and
Will
listen.
you just
eh?
sit and listen?
How
Just
often
for
do you
2
sit and listen. I happen to have opinions
Just
of
sit
my
and listen
own.
for three
Why don't you try it?
seconds.
Continued.
Want to
believe
dance?
You never... Tommy,
Who found the bomb?
Maintenance did.
Well, the bomb squad's here anyway.
They don't usually waste their time.
Where is it? 3rd floor at Professor Winchester's office. How's it look, Dave?
I'm not sure yet. Hang on. There. Got it open. I could have made this in high school. It's a piece of cake. I'll just...
How's your man?
The guy was standing right over it.
Don't you think it's about time that someone else was assigned to this? Someone who's not personally involved?
You're out of line, Picard.
Oh, am I? Just how many murders does it take to get your attention?
You've got my attention right now, mister. Get the hell out of here now. If we don't get that nut soon, Picard won't be the only one giving us problems. Professor Winchester?
He was trying to kill me, wasn't he?
Somebody was.
It's like it's all happening again. Those terrible years. The bombs and the killing. It's like losing my daughter all over again.
Pardon me.
Later. Oh, we got no statements right now.
Those guys ever give up?
When it's something like this, they don't. Ex-radical back in the saddle makes great copy if you happen to buy it.
You don't?
Frank, I don't figure Garfield for any of this. I never have.
Who then?
Well, somebody knows something about the Freedom Army and wants to see Garfield do a little hard time.
Picard?
Wouldn't hurt to keep an eye on him.
His car got blown up.
He wasn't in it, though, right?
You're insane coming here. Where else could I go?
Thanks, Dave. I just needed a place to breathe so I could figure out what to do next.
Sure. So you come here. Did you happen to think that you might get me tossed back into the slammer?
No, I didn't think. I don't want you running any risks for me.
Don't worry. I don't go to jail for my friends anymore, Georgie.
You only get that deal once in a lifetime.
What do you mean?
Okay, everybody, keep this area clean. Cute. You know that. Let's go. Come on. Over here. Keep the volume down, too. Thank you very much. Excuse me, you too?
Big shot. Our leader. Where were you and your damn principles when the cops were banging on my door?
You know how many times in the last 10 years I wish they'd caught me instead of you? You know what it's like, hiding all the time? Afraid somebody will recognize you? Building up a whole life and knowing it could collapse around you any second?
I'd take 10 years of that over 10 minutes in jail anytime.
You want me to go?
I just want you to understand how betrayed we all felt. Do you realize that if it hadn't been for you and the rest like you, we might have actually changed something?
Change something? Change what? We were kids. We didn't know what we were doing. We could have only hurt more people. We wouldn't have accomplished anything.
You can't have a revolution without violence. If you middle-class revolutionaries had stopped playing cowboys and Indians for 10 minutes and read some history, we'd be living in a different world now.
Maybe, I don't know. I guess I just didn't want it bad enough.
No, none of you did. Mary was the only one who understood what it was all about. God, I don't know what she ever saw in you.
Now, if she'd listened to me, she'd be alive now. All of them would.
Maybe if you'd helped us when we really needed it, she'd be alive now, too. Ever think of that?
Yeah, I think about it. I still think about it a lot.
Yeah? Well, it wasn't easy for any of us. So, now I sell antiques. I suppose we all have to slow down eventually. I guess you came to the right guy after all. Do you want a drink?
Ten years ago, I was on the run and dozens of people hit me. People I didn't even know. Everywhere. They didn't even think about the risks. Now there's no one else in this city who'd do this for me.
Times change, George. Times change.
Kevin, he just went into the alley.
Stay with him. We'll be right there.
Relax. It's my girlfriend. She was working late tonight.
Yes, go ahead. Let's see how far you get.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, like I told you, buddy, times change.
Slowly.
Hey, hold it!
Elliot, stop! Give it back! Give it to me!
Looking for this?
All right. Hang on to him. You all right?
What do you care? Where is he?
That's police business.
If he's got away, O'Brien, I'll have your job.
For what? Stopping a killing?
I was trying to stop a killer.
Just a minute. For shooting an unarmed suspect in the back, that's not the way it's usually done. Wait a minute. I don't want you downtown to make a statement.
I'll come in tomorrow.
Make it now. Be careful with this, Picard.
You go down to the station house?
No.
Well, that's too bad. Kevin was kind of hoping you would. You want to give me a lift?
Oh, am I a taxi? Everything set?
Yeah, we just got the call. Steve is on the way.
All right, make sure Ellis doesn't forget to drop by.
Okay.
Get in.
Come on, Tom.
Hey, why does he get a special deal?
He's a witness.
O'Brien, what the hell are you doing? Drag me down here like this.
Guard, sit down. We'll get to you in a minute.
Maybe you're not as bad a cop as I thought you were.
And the night's still young, right?
Oh, was it worth it?
You sell a lot of papers?
The comics sell the papers. I just write the news. I'm sorry.
Thanks for dropping by, Ellis.
Just let me make my statement and get out of here, okay? These places make me nervous.
It won't take long.
Well, good. I got things to do.
Can I ask you a question?
I guess you can't do any more damage.
Why did you do what you did at the robbery? You must have known there was the risk of getting caught.
You know, I thought about it. There was a second there. Truth is, I was scared to death. Getting caught. Maybe getting shot. I didn't know which. I just couldn't let someone die so I could go on hiding. Getting tired of hiding anyway. I wouldn't mind getting it over with if my wife and son didn't have to pay for it with me.
My daughter, what did she have to pay for?
Don't you see it yet?
Hey.
Just after all these years, she was the one. She was leading us all on by the nose.
She was a revolutionary. She understood the need for violence.
You damned liar! I taught my daughter not to be violent. Let me out of here, please.
Please. Sit down, Professor.
Please sit down, sir. Just a few more minutes.
Well, I don't see why I should have to sit here and listen to these lies.
Someone left this in the hall.
Put it over there somewhere.
Mr. Winchester, we were just kids. Maybe we were worried too much about things. Maybe we weren't worried enough, but we weren't all violent.
Well, don't give me that crap, Garfield. I was there.
All there. Who the hell cares anymore?
You're not going anywhere, Mr. Ellis.
Let me go! Let me go!
Sit her down
You
here.
can't keep me here!
Why don't you call your lawyer and find out about that?
Let me go! Let go of me! We're all gonna be killed! No! The thing's gonna blow!
We defused the bomb an hour ago, Mr. Ellis.
The past. For some people, it's a haven. A world where everything is just a little better than it is now. For Dave Ellis, it was a safe spot where he could pretend that nothing had changed. Somewhere he could fight the battles he lost long ago. But in the end, it reached out, and in one terror-filled night, destroyed him. That same night, George Garfield became a free man, and for the first time in 15 years, stepped away from the shadows of the past.
You're free to go, Mr. Garfield.
Doesn't change a thing as far as you're concerned.
Carter just had a little talk with Jake. He said you offered him immunity for spinning that yarn. Wasn't too happy when I told him you were blowing steam in his ear.
What the hell are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. You're a cop. And we can play this by the book, or we can be sensible and cut ourselves a deal. I wouldn't want to put a stain on a distinguished career.
Hey, Picard. The quality of mercy is not strained.
You've been doing your homework, eh, Sonny?
I try to learn a little something every once in a while.
Something you should remember.
I take your point. I don't say that you're right. I take your point.
The quality of mercy is not strain.
Is it strange?
Not for you, Frankie. Not for you.
And I feel the night.